You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Hey, folks.
Okay.
Welcome.
Somebody's excited to be here.
I am. I really needed today.
That's a new opening.
Tonight. I really needed tonight. This last week, the last couple weeks, right, from New Year's on. You know what? Hi, welcome to the
so
Beans
where are we?
and Dice podcast. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
I'm scared.
He should be. That's William.
And our guest tonight, Ron Frazier from Ron Talks Tabletop.
One more time with Ron.
The B-side of the mixtape. How are you, Ron?
It's great to see you guys. I'm doing great.
Good to see you again. Well, just a few weeks ago, we had a little chat about some RPGs, but we're going to mix that up tonight and actually talk about some board games with Ron.
That's the plan.
All right.
Looking forward to hanging out with Ron, talking board games. I know I'm getting a little bit of a glitchiness with the screen, and I just cannot seem to figure out how to stop it. So we just gonna push through, folks, because there's nothing I'm gonna do tonight to stop me.
Yeah, we got
from doing this.
Loose cable somewhere, so we apologize for the little flicker that we're getting every now and then, but we're gonna push on through it. Hopefully, we got good audio, and if anybody out there just wants to let us know, but that annoying little flicker on the screen there,
I can't seem to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like I've been grinding for the last hour trying to figure this thing out, and I just can't.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Those little gremlins.
we're gonna have to tear it down and put it back together, see what happens.
But I have a funny anecdote.
Oh, there you go.
So last night I was recording a video for my YouTube channel, which I focus more on RPG stuff on the YouTube channel.
Sure.
And I was all excited about it. It was just great. Actually, I picked up a camera. So I wasn't using my phone. I was really excited to get it, edited, to see how it looked and sounded. And it looked great, and there was no sound. And I was like, "Oh man, did my files corrupted?"
We had that one time.
So, turns out the camera also came with a condenser mic, and I did not have it on. It was off.
That'll do it.
That'll do, Dobby. That'll do.
Really?
Well, welcome, Ron. Thanks for coming back and joining us. Phone lines open, 813-618-7099. Good morning to Edmund, England, out in Sweden.
Sweden. Yeah.
Sweden. Out in Sweden.
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm wrong, Edmund.
Yeah, I believe that's correct. I think you tend to want to say Switzerland or something.
Listen, English is not my first language. Neither is international affairs.
Although we did play, just for Edmund's sake, we did play Ticket to
Nordic
Ride,
countries.
Nordic countries.
Yes, we gave Edmund a shout out on that one.
Yeah, so I tried to teach Carlos a little geography. We actually pulled up a Google Maps and we blew it up, zoomed in, zoomed out, and said, all right, here's where this is. There's Sweden. Here's the Netherlands. So we kind of went through country by country, doing a little geographical geography lesson. So that was good times.
And then there's Mitchell talking about taking bets on how late we're going to start. And I will say, I almost thought about restarting this whole thing to try to get this glitch to go away. But once you posted that comment, Mitch, I could not disappoint you. I'm not going to let you win, okay? I'm not going to let you win. You will eat this green flicker.
Yeah.
So enjoy.
Mitchell threw down the gauntlet.
Well, Carlos is taking the challenge, that's for sure. So he's putting it back at him.
So we are here, and I am happy to be off work tonight. Gosh, I haven't even put on my jersey yet.
Oh, yeah, it's right behind
It's
you.
right behind me.
There, so. Yeah, anyway.
Let's just do this, Ron. Ron, you're here today because we are on the B side of the mixtape for all you, what do we call them?
Youngins?
Yeah, the youngins.
We're Gen Xers.
Yeah,
We're Gen Xers.
Gen Xers? Okay, the youngins.
We grew up on cassettes, so Ron understands what I'm talking about when I say mixtape. When you sat by the radio like all day waiting for your song
to come on,
so you can hit record on your cassette,
Yep.
so you can make your little jams, right? So we did the A side a few weeks ago.
That was RPGs.
And we talked all about Ron and the RPGs in Ron's life. And we never even got to the point where we got to talk about the board gaming side of Ron Frazier.
Right.
So, Ron, talk us through, while we wait for calls, 813-618-7099, what got you into board gaming?
So I'll start from the beginning. So my childhood was filled with the traditional mass market games,
Sure.
Monopoly, so on and so forth. We played a lot of card games. Space is big in my community, although I was terrible at it as a child.
Okay.
But these games that we know as hobby board games, I didn't really get into them until about 2013. Now, in between childhood and that point, I played Munchkin, I played Illuminati.
Okay.
But that was about all I was exposed to, Steve Jackson games, basically.
Yeah.
But I played Small World, and I kind of like that. But, it introduced me to a different world. So I played some other games, and what really got me hooked was Sentinels of the Multiverse.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and I have been a hobby board gamer ever since.
I know you have a big fan of comic IPs, comic books, and the like.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of theme and superheroes. Superheroes is like that's my passion. Now I would not consider myself a comic book scholar.
Okay.
I read them as a kid, but I never really read them after, say, high school. And even then, it was just, the concept of superheroes I love thoroughly. As you can tell, over my shoulder.
Yes, it's right there, the Encyclopedia of Marvel right over your shoulder there.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. So I love Marvel superheroes. I love DC too. I'm not going to throw shade at DC, but the Marvel superheroes are what really caught my imagination.
That's just funny.
We got a call coming in. Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name and where you're calling from while I try to fix this computer.
This is Mitchell from Louisiana. I was trying to yield the floor, but no one beat me to the punch. So I figured I'd
you're
call
giving
it.
somebody an opportunity to beat you.
I
Nobody
saw
did
the
it,
phone
huh?
number from across the table here. I see it.
William knows when it's coming in. He's got you. But hey, Mitch, what have you been up to?
Not a ton of board gaming. That needs to learn a lot of new games. I have a buddy that he's not quarantined, but he's just really busy, and so he hasn't been able to play a ton of games in person. So we've just been going through the list on BGA and learning new games, and some of them are good, and some of them are not. There were some pleasant little surprises. I figured I'll mention one of them.
Okay.
King of Tokyo.
Oh.
You guys played King of Tokyo before?
Oh, yeah, that's a classic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's one I had
game
never
snob?
played.
I'm sorry. I'm just. I thought everybody's played King of Tokyo.
And that's why you're the snob.
I'd never played it.
Apparently not me.
I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, of course, I've heard of it, but it's a lot lighter than games I usually play, as I think you guys know.
Who's the GameStop now?
Well, I think that's what kept me from playing it for so long, is because I was like, oh, that looks really simple. But I was pleasantly surprised by the mechanics. I like it a lot. Actually, we played a couple games on BGA, and I went ahead and I ordered it. So,
Nice.
I enjoyed that one.
You're gonna love it with your kids too, because my kids really get into it. Whenever they do a board game day at school, my 10-year-old will ask to take it with them. So my 10-year-old takes it with them to school. I've got the broken token inserts, so everything's, and some of the upgraded components like the acrylic lightning bolts for the energy. And
Nice.
It's just a fun smash 'em up. Like, it doesn't come out as much as I think it should.
Yeah.
Because there's so many other options.
We
but
played it a lot early on. I know when my kids, or our kids, the older kids, were younger, we played it, and it's one of the early games that you introduced me to. I think I'm going to say it was probably in the first 10 games when you started bringing me into the hobby that we played, and then we got the kids just because it's just rolling dice. It's a good time for anybody who doesn't know. It's kind of got the Yahtzee mechanic in it, even though they're not numbers on the dice. The dice have all these different symbols, but it's also kind of a monster smash beat 'em up game. It's a little bit of press your luck. You're going into Tokyo. When you're in Tokyo, all the other monsters are attacking you with all their attacks. When you're outside of Tokyo, you're trying to attack the one that's in Tokyo, because if you can hold Tokyo for a whole turn around the board,
points!
Yeah, you get points. And so the two ways you win is you kill everybody else, or you get to, I think it's 20 points. And so it's fun. It introduces some mechanics. There's some cards that you can buy that give you some one-time abilities or some long-lasting abilities. But it's light enough that you can kind of play with the kids. It's fun rolling dice, press your luck, Yahtzee type mechanic. But really, really good game. I'd say it's.
Diego says he has the Dark Edition. I also have the Dark Edition.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you get, which edition did you get, Mitch?
It was the regular one. I saw both of them on Amazon, but I figured I'd go, with positive,
Oh, not the dark side? No?
darkness.
Dude, I figured once you go dark, you never walk the same again. But
Well, you guys know I'm not a big theme guy, but I mean, just the monsters on here are cool. I assume in the game, the hard copy, you can pick your monster, but on BGA, it automatically picks for you. And so I'm always like, oh, I got the cool one this time, or oh man, I got the silly baby monster.
Who's your favorite monster?
So I really like the it's like a robot, I think, if I remember correctly.
The cat robot or the dragon? That's the.
It's like a dragon.
The mecha dragon.
Yeah.
So you like mecha dragon?
Yeah, the mech.
I don't know. I'm all about King Kong, man. I'm all about that. What can Brown do for you?
That's so cliche, though. We're in Tokyo. Big. No, I guess I'm thinking more Godzilla. But anyway.
Well, that's what you got. You got Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I just wanted to drop in and say, hey, I was enjoying the conversation. I didn't mean to ignore you over there, Ron. What's up, man? I'm glad you're back on the show. Interested to hear some more insights from you.
He's lying.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I was about to say about King of Tokyo. So I bought King of Tokyo basically when it first came. Well, not first came out. It came out in 2011. But when I was first getting into the game. And I also bought a series of Pacific Rim Hero Clicks. I think I have all 5 of the Jaegers and most of the kaiju from the movie. And so instead of using the standees, I like to use the Pacific Rim kaiju and
nice
kaiju and Jaegers. Yeah,
that's my man. That's theme right there.
Great idea.
Yeah.
That's theme right there. Hey, Mitch, before you go, we tell the folks at home about the fun stuff we've been doing, you and I, and what they can do to join in on that.
Are you referring to the podcast?
I was really hoping that was a good hint, but I guess not. But yes, that's what I'm referring
When
to.
you said how they can join in on it, I'm like, am I supposed to just invite anybody that wants to be on the podcast? But you mean listen to it. Okay. So, the last couple of weeks, me and Carlos have been podcasting, and we wanted to start it for it to get more regular. So the plan is bi-weekly on Sundays. So this past Sunday, uploaded an episode looking back on 2021. Not necessarily new games in 2021, but games that were new to us, and also just our top experiences. A big thing being just being around people again for gaming. We're planning our next episode. Spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about lots of things, but what makes or breaks a worker placement game. And then we're always going to have a segment where we pick a game and kind of give our tips on what our strategy is, and you guys can either take that advice or not take that advice in the case of Carlos, and hope people enjoy it. So check it out on anywhere you listen to podcasts.
What's the game? What's the game for the next one? Do you know?
We are doing Pan Am. Right behind your head, Rob.
Yep.
Pan Am is going to be the next strategy tips that we talk about tonight after the show for you folks that want to join us. We're going to be playing Pan Am on Tabletop Simulator, streaming it through the Discord, and just kind of hanging out in that channel, just joking around and goofing off while we play Pan Am. So we're going to get a few more games of Pan Am in before we do our next recording next week and give you our strategy tips from that. Nice. If you have ideas for games that you want to hear strategy tips on, let us know.
Sure.
Even better. If you have ideas on strategy tips from people that you want to hear from, let us know, and we'll try to get those folks on. Or if you are a strategy person, like you love a certain game, like we'd like to get Ron on one day to talk strategy about Marvel Champions. And because I know you, Ron, you're going to do a series on cards for different heroes. That would be a type of podcast we can do. So that's what Mitch and I are up to. Thank you, Mitch, for doing that with me and encouraging me to get off my butt and get up and record. I need a little prod sometimes to get off my mopey butt and do this stuff.
Little cattle prod.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and I enjoyed this podcast. I listened to it. I listened to it when it came out. It was great.
Sweet.
Don't ask me if I remember anything about it, but I do remember enjoying it.
There'll be a test.
Cheers to you, my
Thanks,
friend.
bro.
Cheers to you, Mitch. Have a good night, man.
Thanks, Mitch.
All right. Take it easy. I'll see you guys after the show for Pan.
See ya.
See ya. That was Mitchell from Louisiana. Phone line's open, 813-618-7099. I thought I fixed the green flicker, but now I got another one.
Is it back? Oh, you got another?
I got to figure that one out. I'm going to go on the forums and figure it out. I think I just did an update right before the show, so it could be issues from that. But hey, folks, thank you. Please forgive us for our gremlins. We try to do our best. I'm just gonna have fun here. Wait for you to call.
It is. Yeah, absolutely.
So, Ron, you were talking about your board game history. Before we do that, Wayne Kruger had a comment. Love King of Tokyo. Just played with my kid for the first time last week.
Oh, wow. First time.
I'm surprised at that because Wayne has put me on a few really good kids family games, like the zombie one, Teen Zombie or Kid Zombie, Zombie Kids.
Zombie Kids, yeah.
Right, so I expected him to have already had played some of these really hardcore kid family games, but I guess that's a new one to him too.
Yeah, we'll see it.
All right, so Ron, you get into the, I guess, fake or generic superhero of the multiverse, Sentinels of the Multiverse.
Sentinels, yeah.
And now you're introduced into this board game life, right? But then Robert and I have seen you in the Dice Tower contributing to board game conversations.
Yeah.
How'd that go? Like, where did that come from?
So, actually, Marvel Champions has something to do with that as well. Sometime last year, it was early last year, I recorded a video called Why I Love Marvel Champions. I got a tiny little YouTube channel. It's strictly a hobby thing. So I was doing that, and but mostly RPG content on YouTube. And on Instagram, I was taking pictures of my games because I had always been taking pictures of my games since I got into the hobby. I took pictures of my game back when Google Plus was a thing.
Yeah,
R.I.P. Google Plus. And so,
hey, that didn't last at all.
Yeah, but that's a conversation for another day. But Roy Candidate from the Dice Tower commented on that video, and basically invited me to do Favorite Game Friday. Favorite Game Friday is a Dice Tower video series where it's completely open. There's a topic of the week, and you record a really short video, and Roy puts them together into one long video. It's a pretty neat series. So I decided to dip my toe into that. And so after a little while, Tom reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to do a Dice Tower segment? And I said, sure. And I pitched him an idea, and he liked it. And so he put me on. And so that's how I got onto the Dice Tower. So I do a segment on Board Game Breakfast called Affordable Board Games, which is just an overview of board games that have an MSRP of $30 or less US, although I might bump that up to $35, with inflation or whatever.
That's going on, yeah.
Right. But the idea is that we talk about these board games, and they're great, well-produced, but they're also expensive. One of my favorite games, which you guys have on the table, Western Legends.
There you go.
We're talking before the show.
Yeah.
I believe it's an $80 MSRP. I am not going to introduce my family to the board game hobby with an $80 game.
Sure.
Aside from the fact that there's a little bit more going on, they'll look at me like I'm crazy.
Spending that money on that?
I don't want to have to explain to my wife the MSRP of the game that we're currently learning.
Yeah.
Well, I hope she doesn't watch this video. But anyway, so that's something that I have a passion about, and so that's what I do.
Sweet. I know you had mentioned when we were talking RPGs when we had you on a couple of weeks ago that your I want to say Twitter. It's not Twitter. Your
Instagram.
Instagram is going to be a little more dedicated to the board game side of things, and then your RPGs are going to be more primarily on the YouTube.
Yes, although there's crossover on both social medias. So
okay,
but that's the way. But that's the way it always was before I got attention.
Okay.
So.
And where do people find you? What's the Instagram to find your stuff on board games there?
The Instagram is RonTalksTableTop.
RonTalksTabletop. Okay, cool.
Yep. And the YouTube is Ron Frazier, but if you if you search Ron Talks Tabletop, you'll find me as well.
It'll come up that way. Okay, awesome.
Yep.
And what's your passion with board games? You've been doing it long enough. What is your? I know you've mentioned that you like superheroes. You're big on theme. Is superheroes your favorite theme? Is that pirates, or I know you mentioned Western Legends? That's Westerns is definitely one of my favorites. I think it's an underrepresented in the board game hobby. Although there's a good number of Western themed games, but I think there could be a lot more when you look at zombies and you look at pirates and you look at some of the others.
I guess maybe I'm just a boring person because like some of my favorite, some of my favorite themes and my favorite games are like Lord of the Rings themed or Star Wars themed or Marvel themed.
Sure.
That's not boring.
I do like other.
That's not
I
boring
do
at
like
all.
a lot of other games.
I guess when he says boring, he might be more
it's not
mainstream.
unique.
Or?
mainstream.
Mainstream,
there you
yeah.
go. Yeah.
Mainstream,
Robert's got
yes.
a first language is English.
Oh yeah, mainstream. Yeah, you like the big IPs. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, and that the big IPs bring a lot of people into the hobby. There's a lot of people I think that wouldn't touch a lot of board games until you find an IP or a theme, a big IP that talks to them. And I think that's a common way we can start conversations with people who aren't hobby board gamers. Is you can talk about other things, and then when you find out they've got something they like, whether it be pirates, whether it be Lord of the Rings, whether it be something real specific, you can say, hey, what I do over here with this board gaming thing, we've got some games that are, Star Wars based. What do you like? Do you like fleet combat? Do you like, the exploration down on the planet? Do you like the stories? And we've got a game for that if, in most cases. So,
and what's great? Those games with big IPs, they're actually good.
Yeah. As opposed to in the past, historically, I'd say before 3 or 4 years ago, any game with a big IP on it,
I was worried.
Was almost an instant not buy. But the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, I'd say there's been a real big turnaround in the hobby where some bigger game developers, manufacturers, whatever, have gotten into, hey, let's get on this IP thing, and I think it's really paid off. Some of these IPs are killing it, and I know, like right now, the Jurassic Park, the new one that's coming out.
I'm so excited about this one.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm not a campaign guy. I'm not a legacy game guy.
Yep.
But you're gonna play that music in the background.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
I just did the whole marathon like last week. And then I watched it again with my kids because I did it completely by myself. And then my kid's like, "Puppy, you watching Jurassic Park?" And all of a sudden, let's do it again. I'm down.
So if we play it, you have to talk the whole game like Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, chaos. No control. Mitch says Lord of the Rings.
Nature.
Woohoo!
Oh, there you
Nature
go,
finds
the
a way.
Hobbit.
Well,
Yeah.
of course Mitchell would say Lord of the Rings. He's half Hobbit.
Only half?
I'm trying out some new stuff while I'm here. I got some name tags on. Mitchell says, thanks for the name tags. You can't tell us fools apart otherwise.
Yeah.
BJ from Board Game Gumbo, he's like, at Mitchell, yes, they're like quadruplets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Pretty close. Yeah.
Maybe William and I?
You're what?
That we all look alike?
That y'all look alike, the two of you.
Maybe you and me?
He was joking that
I
all
have
four
a
of us look
beard.
alike.
I can't grow a beard.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Sure.
thanks, BJ, for being on, man. We appreciate you and your fun commentary. Looking forward to meeting you in person in March.
Yeah.
My wife was just saying the other day how excited she is about this Louisiana trip.
Yeah.
We are a road trip family. We love doing it. Ron, they invited us out. I think we mentioned it last time. They invited us out to Louisiana for Southern Board Game Fest.
Festival? Yeah, Fest, I think. Yeah.
Yep. SOBO, I think is the short for it in Lafayette. Is that how to pronounce it? Lafayette.
Lafayette, yeah.
Lafayette, yes, that's right.
That's right. You're a Louisiana guy.
I'm born and raised in New Orleans.
And I think our thumbnail is a picture of you with the Saints champs.
That's right. That's got 2 words for you. Who dat?
I called it. Yeah, there we go. Who dat? Yep.
Tom Brady, Tampa says.
Oh, well. See, my Cowboys are in this year, too, so we got to
that's gonna be
keep an
fun.
eye on that. Yeah, this is going to be fun.
Let's not do too much sports, though. We don't want to turn off like the Barrys of the world. We don't want to scare people away.
Board gamers, yeah.
Mitchell says he is half Hobbit,
Okay, half Hobbit.
or not half Hobbit, full Hobbit.
Full Hobbit. That's what I thought. More than half, yeah.
Full Hobbit, okay.
Have y'all ever seen him pound food?
Yeah, you talked about it
You
before.
mean like
but yeah.
like second breakfast,
Right, like
third lunch?
it's insane. Okay, so
Every
story time.
Every time the dice tell, are you guys hungry? Like, no,
Listen,
we
folks.
just ate.
This is how the show works, okay? It's a call-in show. So if you're sick of hearing our topic,
Yeah.
You call in and change it, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna talk about Mitch.
If you don't call, we just talk.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Mitch. We took the guy to Subway. Like we were gonna pick up a bunch of Subway for everybody
yeah,
while we were
weren't
at Dice
there.
Tower.
We weren't
Yeah.
And
we heard about this.
so Mitch goes in, and I said, "All right, Mitch, go ahead and get your order in." While I'm texting Rob and everyone else to get their orders, right? So I get Rob's orders in. So Mitch gets his order, gets his food, and he said, "All right, I'm gonna sit down over here." All right, so I order everybody's foods, and I get our sandwiches, and I turn around and say, "All right, Mitch, let's go." And he's like his foot long, the chips, the cookies, like the drink, nothing in his hands, and I'm like, "Mitch, where's your food?" He goes, "Oh, I ate it while I was waiting." Like,
It's all
bro,
on.
that was only like 5 minutes.
He done. Yeah. Well, he wanted to get back to gaming, so he's more like me.
Yeah,
Eating is definitely 4th or 5th on the list. Playing games while you're at the convention is what you do. So yeah.
So that's one reason why I believe he's actually a hobbit.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to explain to y'all folks at home why I believe Mitch from Louisiana is a hobbit. The next reason is
I never see the guy wear sneakers or shoes.
Oh, that was my next thing.
He never ever wore shoes.
I pick up the guy from the airport, and
In
from the
sandals.
moment I pick him up to the moment I drop him off at the airport, or he took off on his own, I think. The moment he left us,
Yeah.
it was just bare feet the whole time.
Bare feet and
just sandals the whole
sandals.
time.
Yeah.
I think sandals for our sake, but if he could,
Yeah.
he would be completely barefoot.
Doing the Florida thing.
There's many things that say to me this man is a hobbit walking among us.
But back to board games.
BJ says it is Southern Board Game Fest. So it is
Festival,
Sobo Game Fest.
Sobo
That's-
Game Fest.
Look it up, folks. Beans and Dice is going to represent.
Yep, we're looking forward to being there. Hopefully
We will be out there. Come join us if you can.
Yeah.
Are you going out there too?
Yeah. Me and the wife are gonna fly out. This sucker's driving the how many hours did we say it was 16 hours or something?
You are crazy.
Oh.
Yeah.
We are
not.
a road tripping family.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's just we love to spend time together, chat in the car, eat at different places.
Yeah,
you know?
you're a different breed. Yeah.
Yeah, you know why? It's because your kids don't kill each other.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. I like my kids.
Unique.
I can't do that.
Edmund
Flying is-
says, I see the game tags now. Smart idea. I like it. Thank you.
There you go. That
That's a
works,
compliment from me. I'll take that. Oh, Mitch from Louisiana. Who dat? There you go. That's for
There
you.
you go. Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
Mitch will be in on that.
Wayne Kruger, he says, I've owned a copy of War of the Ring for a while and never got it to the table. Any of y'all
wanna
play
play
War of the
it.
Ring
I've
yet?
never played. Have you
I
played,
want
Rod?
to.
Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, you played it.
It's a long
Yes.
game. It's a long game. I get to play. I played half of it. I played it with some folks a while back into the convention, but I never got to finish the game. It was like, damn, I want to get it, but I don't think I could ever get at the table with you guys ever.
I have a painted copy of War of the Ring.
Oh, nice.
Painted.
Wow, those
Yes.
those minis are not that big either.
No, they're not.
They're not that big either.
I did not do the painting.
I was gonna say,
I paid somebody to do that.
dang, that's
But-
gotta be nice.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
one that I've
it
looked
was-
at because of the war aspect of it and being Lord of the Rings. I just, like
It's
William
not-
says,
it's not what you think.
I just don't think I'll
It's
ever
not-
get it
I
to the
don't-
table.
I don't think if I got a table, you'd be like, "Oh, you play it," and then that'll be it. So I wouldn't get it for the group, to be honest. But
Rob's got some
Yeah.
images for y'all. He's going to show y'all some images
Pulling
up
on the
here
BGG.
of the War of the Ring.
We'll scroll through. I don't know if there's any painted. I'm sure there's a painted copy in here somewhere.
I
But
know Carlos wouldn't like it because he was like, "Oh, what the dwarves can't go to war yet? Well, why not? Oh, we can't go to war yet. We can't go to war yet. We can't
Well,
go
that
to
makes
war yet?"
sense, though. That makes
Right.
complete theme sense because in the end of the day, in that world, the dwarves are isolationist,
Right.
right? We're not globalists. We don't want to go out and patrol other people's countries. That's not our thing. Oh, let me turn off the name tags. I'm learning how to do this.
over the BGG
Over the board.
page, yeah.
But the dwarves are
I see it.
isolationist. Unless it really impacts them, they're not going to go out, and it just makes theme sense. Would you recommend? Who would you recommend War of the Ring to? Ron Frazier.
I would recommend War of the Ring to a board gamer that is a fan of Middle Earth and Lord of the Rings in general, that is looking for a fully immersive Lord of the Rings trilogy experience. Because, like William is alluding to, it is not, strictly a war game where you just put the minis on the board and you go to war, moving the pieces and rolling the dice for combat. There's a political track
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
because the factions have varying levels of readiness or reluctance for war, and like the Fellowship, the Free Peoples, you can influence the factions of the political track by moving those characters to those regions and everything like that. It's a pretty neat game. It's Lord of the Rings in a box.
Yeah.
You said the trilogy, like you went big word trilogy, big T, capital T trilogy, like all of it.
Well, yeah, because there's a part of the game where you need to get the ring still needs to get to Mordor.
Okay, that's part of the game.
So you got to keep that. You got to keep Frodo. You got to keep the Fellowship of the Ring. You got to keep him hidden, right? So if you're playing that faction, you got to keep that part.
So I'm playing like the role of Samwise. Like so my job is to protect Frodo.
No, it's not to protect, to make sure no one finds out you're going there. Everyone knows you're going. That's part of the book, obviously the books. But where are you on the board at this point in time? Where are you at? Where are you? Are you there now? Are you going to be there soon? Are you holding back? You have that aspect, and then you have the aspect of, here comes the army of Mordor. Now we need to get the humans and the elves and the dwarves to somehow work together because we need to in order to survive. And then you have that. Then at one point in time, when war does happen, it becomes like a giant mess on the board. But then it comes. It's like a slow, methodical buildup. Kind of like Game of Thrones ish, where it's like a little bit of story, a little bit of story, a little bit of story, and then a lot of battle, and then some more story, and then lots of more battle. But it goes all the way to the very end of the trilogy, the books.
Mitchell commented here. Carlos identifies as a dwarf ? He is saying we, and yes, I identify as a dwarf.
Every game, every chance. Yeah.
Any chance I get to grab the dwarf faction. My first D&D characters was a dwarf.
First time I played
89% of the time I play a role play game, I will find the dwarven like character to play. Short, stout, drinks a lot. You can tip me over, but you're not going to keep me down. Kind of
something like that.
You feel me on that one, Ron?
Yeah, you know it. Like when we were talking about role playing games.
Yep. I want to play. I really want to play. I want to buy. Just to have it in my collection.
I was going to think about getting it the anniversary edition, which is a lot of money, but I don't care because it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
It looks like fantastic. The board will probably take up majority of this table.
And this is Wayne Kruger says, I've owned a copy of War of the Ring for a while and never got it to the table.
I think they reprinted. So you didn't know the company that made it is a company that made Sword and Sorcery.
Right, Ares
Games,
which also made Wings of War. That's another game.
So
that I like from them.
they've already done a second edition print of it. So they redid the rules. Some of the rules were kind of confusing in the first edition, so they changed it. They made it more. They clarified a lot.
And
of
it's
rules.
just 2 players, right, guys?
Well,
Am I wrong?
I just was looking.
It's a 2-player game.
Well, it says 2 to 4, but I think it's one of those that's really a 2-player game.
It's a 2-player game.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I
listen to Ron on that one. Phone lines open, 813-618-7099. Get in on the action here. Tell us about your games that you're playing, that you're liking. Otherwise, we're just going to keep chatting with Ron about board games.
Yeah, for sure.
Just to clear some stuff up here on the chat room while I post it up on the board. Ron, Board Game Gumbo's asking, are you coming to Sobo? I'll let you...
I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
I also,
Any family left in Louisiana?
I got most of my siblings are. So
okay,
that's an excuse, to go see family.
But the problem, here's the problem with that.
I'm here to say family.
Board games.
If I'm going to Louisiana to play board games, then I'm not going to see my family.
That's
you see?
for sure. Yeah. Unless you're making an extended trip, you spend a little extra time out there.
See, I'm doing a little bit of both because this board game thing is not. It's a very tight schedule. I believe it's 2 days? Saturday and Sunday.
2 days.
Flat out.
What?
So I'm going to spend Friday in New Orleans. I'm going to go check out the World War II Museum. I want to eat a poor boy.
A po' boy?
Not a poor boy.
Po' boy.
Okay.
Poor boy.
I didn't have those in Miami. So I want to eat some shrimp inside of a sandwich. Right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go in. I want some sausage and andouille. I want some sausage.
Yeah.
Rob knows how much I love chasing sausage when I'm out of town.
That's
sausage,
not even
big sausage guy.
Andouille sausage is great. Take some home with you.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
So Friday we're going to spend in New Orleans eating, checking out the World War II Museum because I love history. That's my thing. So you can fit in a visit to family like the Friday.
I can. You're right. I can, but
Listen,
I
homie,
wouldn't want
I
to.
will
Make
go
sure- yeah, make sure
an
it's not
extra
too.
4 hours north, scoop you up in the ATL, drive an extra 4 hours back. You can ride with me and the fan
On
family.
top of his 16 that he's already doing, he can add another 4. Yeah, might as well at that point, right?
We will figure that one out.
I know
Yeah.
Mitchell said they're planning to I think they're trying to put together a Friday night, a pre-con game event. So we're going to look into that too. So
if you guys go to Gen Con, I highly recommend visiting downtown Indianapolis.
Yeah.
There is a lot of history down there.
Yeah. I've
Lots
been
of
there a few
war
times.
museums and everything. So yeah, I mean, I can see that happening. It's not just always about board
Anyway.
gaming, although that's what we
Right,
want to do.
right.
But yeah.
Yeah. So
No, well, that was a
I'll go up
question
and go to the
from
event.
BJ. We'll keep you posted, BJ, if that happens. Wayne Kruger's asking if Mitchell has hairy feet or not. He's looking for other identifying features.
I didn't look that close, but yeah,
I will say I did not either.
yeah,
They were dirty. I'll tell you that.
dirty, yeah, a little dirty.
Hobbity.
Although he was taking his daily shower, so he was all right. Yeah,
He had like 11 different meals a day, but like one shower.
one shower.
Board Game Gumbo says we don't have cons. He says we have festivals.
Festival's not a con; it's the festival. Yeah,
So that means food.
yeah. Well, hopefully,
That's what that
hopefully
Right,
some kind of
right.
food. Yeah,
festivals dictates there's food involved.
a food event.
Now, BJ from Board Game Gumbo is confirming, hey guys, Beans and Dice, Board Game Gumbo, BJ Battles, Friday night meetup at Sobo, ?
Okay, yeah.
Answers yes.
Yes, I mean we're in on something Friday night. I think. Yeah,
I'm going to be
whatever.
heading back before sundown from New Orleans
Okay.
to Lafayette.
you
So
guys-
we will be
you
there
guys-
for the
you guys
evening,
are-
get
you guys are-
checked in.
You guys are forcing my hand then.
Are you coming?
No.
No.
Oh, come on, bro.
No, I think I'm gonna since you guys are doing that, I might do the Dice Tower West.
I didn't even think about the show. Who's going to do the show? William got it. You got to do the show.
Yeah, okay.
gotta figure that one out.
You give me a key. I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna rub my butt and everything. Yeah, no, I'm probably gonna do the Dice Tower West.
You're doing it.
I might. Since you
What
guys are
weekend is that?
I don't know, but I need a
it's
vacation.
March.
I need a
It's
vacation.
the first weekend of March.
First weekend
First weekend of March.
I need a vacation already
Yeah.
Ah, we need you to report then.
because
Yeah.
I'm already beat at work.
He can do the show from there.
I'm already beat. I'm getting a little worn out.
Mitch got a question about the Lord of the Rings, War of the Rings. He's asking, Will makes it sound like there's hidden movement. Is
That's what I was
that the
wondering, yeah.
case? I hate Fury of Dracula. He says.
Yeah, I'm not a big hidden
It's-
movement
It's
fan.
not really like
Get it?
it's. I don't know. Go ahead and explain it, Ron. It's really weird.
So it's a pseudo hidden movement.
Yeah.
Because what you do is that you move the fellowship, and there's a movement track on the top of the board, where you could take a movement action. So when you take the movement action, you move your token up the movement track a number of spaces. Then, if the fellowship gets revealed, because the shadow side's always hunting for the ring, then they have to move the fellowship a number of spaces equal to the amount they moved on the movement track. So it's not really hidden movement, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like say I move 6 spaces. I move 6 spaces on the movement track, and then the shadow side reveals the fellowship. Then I have to move them 6 spaces from their previous known location.
Okay.
Kind of have to reveal. So the shadow side can decide when to say, show me where you're at.
No, they can't do it like that. No. It's
not
different.
Yeah, they can't. Right. So they roll dice, to try.
Oh, so you're moving up a delta, a number, a figure, an amount equal to the amount that you moved, but from the last known location that the shadow side.
Exactly.
So it's not like a hidden movement like Spectre Ops
Right, yeah.
or Fury of Dracula,
Right.
but there's a track that has kind of hidden information.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So he or she gets a better idea of how far you are along on the toss the ring in the
Right.
Mordor track.
So
Exactly.
So whoever's playing whoever's playing the forces of Mordor says, "Oh man, he's only like so many spaces away. He's forcing my hand. I need to just push whatever armies I have and just go for it."
But you could be farther ahead than he even
Right.
thinks.
Because
Yeah.
because he's got to build up forces. Because the player of the dwarves, the elves, and humans, when they die, they don't come back on the board. They're permanently gone off the board.
Oh, yep. Like you said. So let me tell you the beauty of this game. This game is highly asymmetrical. Like William said, if you're the Free Peoples and you lose soldiers, you don't replace them. They're gone for good. But on the Shadow side, there's endless reinforcements, and of course, there's more. The Shadow starts with more. You can, which plays well into their hand because one of the win conditions is a military victory. And even though the Shadow has to conquer more strongholds than the Free Peoples do, it's much easier for them to do that.
So what's the balancing mechanism for the Free Peoples? What do they get, right? So if I'm the Shadow side, I'm growing orcs so I can replace them, right? Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Right.
I already started with more of them.
Right.
I can take over your strongholds easier because your villages aren't protected. What is it that the free side gets that makes the game balanced?
The whole thing with doing the trek down to Mount Doom.
Okay, so that end game win trigger is easier.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to conquer everybody of the Free People. All we got to do is just
drop the ring.
Drop the ring. We're done. I win the game.
Right. So I could be in complete control of just about everything, like literally just about everything. But you drop the ring, you win.
Yep.
Makes sense.
And every game that I've played but one has come down to the Frodo and Sam being on Mount Doom and the Shadow being at the precipice.
That really sounds like a well-balanced game.
Man.
It is. It's actually really well
especially
balanced.
for a 3 or 4 hour game or more. Then being coming down to that every time.
And I know a lot of folks get mad at that. I mean, that's a topic on its own, right? So you get these games that are long games, but they're so balanced well that it comes down to the last die roll, as people like to say it, right? Or an equivalent to the last die roll. And they say, why spend 4 hours when I can just roll one die at the end, determine the whole win? I say, and you tell me what y'all feel about this, I say I love that. A game where you can spend 3, 4, 15 hours, TI4.
I might be a little on the other side of that argument, but
on this emotional roller coaster that you're fully invested in because you invested time, energy, and dollars to be a part of, to come down to something so tight, so close, like the emotions are so tight and pent up. You are so invested in that last card flip, die roll, whatever it is. I love that. I die for those experiences, and that's what Blood Bowl gives to me. I had to bring Blood Bowl in.
Oh my
How do you feel about that feeling of
go.
I play 4 or 5 hours, 10-hour game, and it comes to that last one thing?
I mean, it's my second favorite game for a reason.
It's because I think for me, it's because if it comes down to the last card, the last die, that means you guys were having a really good head-to-head battle. And no one was like getting the complete advantage. When there's a game where, no matter what you do, I'm going to win, or whatever you do, you're going to win, no matter how hard, no matter how much the luck could be on my side for the rest of the game, but I'm still going to get beat by you. Yeah, there's a problem. Either the game is not balanced or I'm not playing the game right at all. But
that's what I was going to say. I think some of that comes down to experience level, because I do appreciate a game that a player who knows the game and has played it more has an advantage. Otherwise, again, it comes down to why not just flip a coin, and if it's always going to come down to just the last play. But if somebody knows the game and they're good at the game and they have a decided advantage, I think that's a little different. In that in those cases, hopefully you're looking for equivalent opponents to bring you that last minute pull out the win against another quality opponent. But
that's why I like war games.
Yeah, and Rob, in this case, you would get that.
Okay, that's
if somebody really knows Warzone well. Yeah.
Would it be equivalent to like Mitchell playing Robert in Red Cathedral and ending it in 15 minutes?
In like 15 minutes, and he was like, "Wow, I've never seen a game go that fast," which meant, "Wow, you were bad at that,
Robert. You suck,
man. What's going on?"
Yeah. We do got a question here. I feel like a failed token. Excuse me. English is not my.
Try it again.
It's that beer.
Shh. I feel like a failed Tolkien fan that I've never played War of the Ring.
Well,
But I've heard concerns that it's broken. Is it true that Sauron can just camp at Mount Doom and automatically win?
Nope.
I point to you two.
Nope.
No.
That's not true. Not even the first edition you can do that.
No. Because the thing is that, okay, so here's the thing. If you camped at Mount Doom, then you're not going to get victory points by beating strongholds. So you're not going to win with that condition. The other shadow victory condition is corrupting the ring bearer. Well, to do that, you have to basically, reveal the fellowship, expose the fellowship, so that they have to make a hard choice on whether to sacrifice a member of the fellowship or take corruption, or they might get really unlucky and take corruption anyways. So if you're not pushing the fellowship up the corruption track, by the time they get to Mount Doom, you might be able to push them up the corruption track a little bit, but by then it's too late. Unless you have two players of, varying different levels of skill.
Yeah, or for familiarity with the game. Yeah.
You can't turtle up.
They have to expand and try to win the game by conquering, not just sitting defensively.
But that's what they need. That's what they're supposed to do.
Good. Glad to hear that. It's supposed to be a great game. I mean, Wayne Kruger says, same as you, Mitchell, that is a huge fan of Tolkien. Having not played it, I feel I need to. And he also says he even has the expansion. So Wayne has the expansions. And then Wayne continues, I have the first edition and its expansions, which I should have just sold. And you know what, Wayne? In my company, bonus comes in around February, so if you're looking to sell it,
oh, here we go.
Oh yeah, looking for a deal.
Just saying, I'm gonna help a brother out. He said it.
No, you're not.
He said he should have just sold it.
It's just gonna sit up here on the shelf, collecting dust. And
I was going to say it's a top 25 game on BGG all time for a reason. As I was thinking that, I just looked. It's actually number 10 overall right now of all games ever made on BGG.
That echoes what BJ is saying. Board Game Gumbo. He says,
almost pulled the trigger on it. I was like,
I have.
And I was like, but I'm never going to get the table with these guys.
Board Game Gumbo says it's War of the Ring is the Beyond the Sun of two-player games.
Oh wow, that's high praise, high praise there from BJ. Yeah, but
okay.
If you listen to the podcast that Mitch and I put out, where we highlight and low light our 2021 experiences,
Beyond the Sun,
you'll find that Beyond the Sun for me was a low light.
A low light.
Just saying.
All right.
All that hype
Slap
for
in the face
nothing.
to BJ. Yeah.
It was all hype for. Yeah, nothing. It just didn't do it.
I liked it. Didn't love it, but I liked it.
Borg and Gumbo says World War II Museum is not to be missed. Wayne Kruger says stay at the Roosevelt and go to the Sazerac Bar and walk through the Bourbon Street and hit up the Frenchman Street. So now we're getting tips on what to do in Louisiana.
In New Orleans.
Let's see. William said... this is the tough part. Like Board Game Gumbo always spells "go" as the Geaux.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Right.
He says, "Go to Gen Con and visit museums." He's slipping down the beans and dice favorite list.
Okay.
I was there for 2 weeks.
That's right. You did spend a long time out there.
I spent the first week there just to relax, chill out, do nothing.
I wonder what life is like without kids.
Yeah, being just
do my own thing.
Yeah.
Like one day. You know what? I'm on having.
So you're just
I just
starting
reset
over.
myself.
So yeah, that's crazy.
I have a feeling I'll be dead before that kid's out of college.
Mm-hmm.
But I got my first girl.
Go ahead, Ron.
So, Carlos, did you get into board gaming before kids?
Whoa! This interviewing here, like flipping the script,
flipping over. Yeah.
Yeah, I got into board gaming. I got into tabletop gaming through my uncle. He's an Army guy, so our family's from Puerto Rico. I think Puerto Rico, statistically,
thank you, sir. There you go.
Has the most participation in the armed forces of any state or territory in the United States. Oh yeah, there's William putting his hand up. He's one too. Puerto Ricans tend to participate in the military like no others. and my grandfather, my uncle stationed in Germany, got introduced to Dungeons & Dragons. When I was
a place to learn Dungeons and Dragons.
and my uncle's not a gamer other than like dominoes. Like our family does dominoes and brisca. Brisca is a trick taking game.
Yeah, I know what that is.
My buddy Robert and I,
we
played many a game of brisca at Puerto Rican restaurants while enjoying Puerto Rican beer and playing Puerto Rican cards.
Yeah.
That's why I love having Rob around. So that's my family plays games. Like I literally remember growing up in Puerto Rico, spending time hearing the clack of dominoes as I fall asleep outside the window of all our family together, gossiping, talking while the grandfathers and the dads played dominoes, the wives played brisca, and they chatted. So gaming's always been a part of my life. Modern board gaming came to me with my uncle who introduced me to D&D, which got me introduced to, we got a call coming in. Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, good evening, Carlos. This is Nick Ubin.
Hey, Nick. How are you, Nick?
My man.
How you doing?
I really thought this was going to be a one phone call show.
Yeah. It was written that way.
Going on? Everyone,
you know, I literally am standing in the parking lot. I just got out of axe throwing and just said, you know what, it's 9:50. Let me call the guys. So
Awesome.
I didn't even know that it was a slow night.
We appreciate that.
How'd your axe throwing night go tonight? How'd you score? Did you win any games?
Actually, it went very well. Yeah, it went very well. I went 3-1 on the night, so pretty good.
Nice.
Good. I'm pleased with our performance. And actually, we're not here to talk about axe throwing, but I make custom handles, and I sold like 3 handles tonight as well. So.
Nice.
No, I love how much. I know how much you love working wood. Handles for axe throwing.
It's the appropriate girth and length for the job. That's right.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was an ongoing joke at the Dice Tower. I thought you were gonna have a different tankard every day of the week for we were there at Dice Tower. Like what is he just trying to advertise while he's here?
I'll tell you what. Thanks to Nick Obin and his wooden tankard that he keeps on his belt, it got me to ask for that one year for Christmas. So now I have my own wooden tankard that I take with me to conventions. It's one of the best tools I've ever had.
No, it's not.
You never know when a drink will show up, Carlos. You gotta be ready for that. You know, I mean, it's key to life.
Speaking of drinks,
It's so back to the board games.
Rob hates talking about anything else but that.
Are we talking board games? No, yeah. So
is it Kickstarter season?
No. You know what?
I think he said he was done. He had too much stuff.
It kind of is. So the Great Wall showed up.
Oh, nice.
Haven't unboxed it yet, but that's fine. That's neither here nor there. It's fine. We don't talk about that. No, but actually, what we're doing is we have played minimum here at the Open household. Well, I don't know at the Open household. I'm in the parking lot right now, but we have played a game a day this year, and I know it's only like what are we at? The 13th or something? So it's not that far into the year. But it's not that far in, but we have done a family game a day every year. And I tell you what, the kids are into it, and that has been really cool. It's been really neat. I set a game up in the evening. We put the kids to bed. We talk about what do you want to play tomorrow? And we set it up in the evening, and we will either knock out the game early in the morning before they go to school, or we'll start it then and finish it after school, or we'll just do it after school entirely. But we have managed to stick with it every day of the year this year so far, and we're playing real games. Some of them are family weight, super light. You know, we've done your share of Blockus. And the other day we did Azul. I mean, real game, yeah.
Okay.
But none of these are like 3-hour games. But we did Tokaido for the first time. That Tokaido had been on my shelf of shame for probably more than a year, and just hadn't, for no other reason, just hadn't opened the box yet. Hadn't got around to it.
Yeah, fun
and
little family game.
Was a hit. That was fun.
Yeah,
that was a fun. It made good on all the promises that it is, which is it's a relaxing, go with the flow, literally go as slow as you can kind of game, and just see what kind of points you can rack up along the journey on the road there from the Tokaido Road. I'm not blanking on where you're actually going to, but whatever, the Japanese city you're going to. But that was great. It was fun. We've done Takanoko. We did as well the other night. Volt, which was actually a game I picked up on sale. It's like a robot battle game. It's kind of like Tiny Epic Mech's bigger production versions. Tiny Epic Mechs from Gamelin Games, of course, is a programming game where you're programming your mechs to do battle, which I appreciate, by the way. If they were going for geek on geek programming game where you're programming battle mechs, I like it.
Sure.
Same thing with Volt. It's a programming game, meaning, of course, you decide the actions you're going to take before you know what your opponents are going to do, and then you're stuck in whatever you programmed, right? It's a neat mechanic, actually. The kids really like it. We've gotten some good plays in that in. But yeah, it's been good. It's been great. I'm actually super excited for 2022 to keep it going as long as we can. A game a day, family game a day, and it's been fun. It's one of those things where if you've got a shelf of shame, there's nothing beats literally just physically pulling it off the shelf and putting it on the freaking table, right? Like that's how you play the game.
Here's the tough part, though, brother. I give you mad props.
Yeah, that sounds like it's almost impossible for some of us.
Mad props, because I don't know. Like, if I play a game, I want to play the game. Like, I want to fight and have competition. And then I get my kids out here, and I got to, like, walk them through it and teach. Like, I have patience, I guess, for a lot of stuff.
You don't have patience. That's what I'm hearing.
I don't want, like, that's a lot of energy, Nick, to keep the family on task and teach. Brother, how do you do it?
Have you seen Nick?
So it's a different side of Nick in a certain way, where it becomes about the quality time, the family time, and less about gaming the game, right? It is about, like, okay, we're gonna do this as a family activity. Here I'm actually looking at my board game on speaker real quick. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but Marvel United, Foodies, Bake and Bacon. That's
Marvel United with the kids. That to me, I have fun.
That's great. That was January 1st. That was the first thing we were like, all right, we know we can. And I want to spam that. So what I want to start doing is have at least one or two of these where maybe we do it every week. And then the weekends are going to be reserved for the longer games. Whereas during the school day, it's less so. But Gizmos is great.
I love Gizmos.
Kids love it. Yep.
That is an awesome engine building game. I don't know if you've played Gizmos yet, but Gizmos is awesome.
It's great.
Yeah.
So the kids like the marbles, and you're building a science fair project. Yeah.
Nick, William has a question for you.
I mean, if you can get those games in quick and fast, why can't you do it when we play games?
Oh, wow.
Well, he didn't say quick and fast, did he? I don't think he ever said they were doing it in under 4 hours.
I tell you what.
It's always like, whose turn is it? Oh, it's Nick's turn. Like,
shots fired.
You're hitting on it. It's beautiful. I love it. You're hitting on a mental switch that is occurring. So this is like a different activity. This is like, okay, we're getting in our daily board game, and it's not at all about min-maxing and finding the best move. It's just playing the game. And I tell you what, when the people at the table are ages 7 to 10, they bring that to the table, literally.
Okay.
They bring that spirit of, we're literally just here to play. Because that's what they do, right? That's what they do. 8-year-olds don't show up figuring out the best strategy necessarily. We literally, my middle child, Leo, he will do a move because it looks cool or is fun or it's a brighter color than the other spots. Right?
Ron's liking that, yeah.
Shout outs from the ATL on theme playing. Play your role.
There you go. Yeah. So like, this morning I was playing Blockus for the second time. I played it once against Landis, the 10-year-old, and then the second time was against Lindsay, the 7-year-old, and I was literally just making shapes with so Blockus is a polyomino shape tile laying game, right? You have the Tetris shapes. You're laying them down, trying to take over as much space as possible. But I was just like making patterns, and she was just like making patterns, and it was fun. It was fun. So who cares if we were doing it right or wrong or whatever? We were having fun.
Hey,
and
it's
neat.
Can I interject?
Please.
On that. So I got core requests in the mail on Sunday.
Nice.
And me and my now 5-year-old, my 5-year-old was excited. Of course, I got it to play with her.
Sure.
But she saw the box and the art, the cover art, and which is all like
Kids' drawings and stuff.
Yep. And she wanted to play right away. We pulled it out and we played. I didn't know the rules. I still don't know all the rules. I read a little bit so I can get started, but I played Dungeon Crawlers before, so I just made the rest up. And he had a blast. So I'm totally with you.
Yeah, Rob's pulling up some of the art for core requests so y'all folks at home could see. It really is about spending time with the kids. So, Nick, what I'm hearing you say is the Nick that wants to win 100% of the games we play, when it comes to family time, the goal is just to spend that family time. So you are able to switch it off, is what I'm hearing you say.
Yes, that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I can't switch it off.
Yep.
I just can't. And this is maybe why my wife doesn't game with me much.
Yeah.
I just can't switch it off.
I'm going to say that's 100%. Yeah.
I gotta win. I have to win.
This is an intervention.
Yeah,
Thank you.
No, maybe. It's for sure.
Yeah. No, I will say, I mean, you guys know Landis. He is the gamer. He is the, humble brag. He is the 99 percentile math and science kid who wants to design his own board game and whatnot. When he and I played Blockish, I was attempting to win. So yes. So,
Oh, man.
You got that competitive spirit going. Got to crush the 9-year-old.
Just play the
Yeah,
game.
right. All that say, yes, it is a switch, because playing the board game attuned 10-year-old as opposed to the I want to make a pretty picture 7-year-old is two different plays. Yeah, it is. It was, and both of them were fun, for the kid, which I am realizing is the point of this exercise I'm doing.
So,
Is it really, though? Is it really?
So what I'm hearing
Thanks,
is that,
Rob, for sharing those pictures.
What I'm hearing is that we have to act like 9-year-olds when we play with Nick.
I'll tell you what, though, Nick. You're talking about your older son versus your daughter.
Yeah.
Now, listen, homie. When your daughter came over a couple years ago and spent some time at this house, I walked away like, I need to make a daughter. Like, that was an experience having your daughter over here. It was one of the cutest things I ever experienced in my life. She asked me for stuff that I guess she wasn't allowed to have at home. She's like, Mr. Carlos, can I get a brownie? I'm like, baby, I will give you all the brownies, whatever you want. Ron, you're a girl dad. I'm a new girl dad. I'm learning this power that these girls have over you as a girl dad.
You have to have discipline.
Yeah, he doesn't have that. Look at the back shelf over here. That's his discipline. Half of these games he purchased because someone's talked about it. And he's like, "Oh, I think I got to get that," and he buys it, and then.
But if I could play core quest with my daughter and she'll spend time with me, like Ron's dealing with,
you see,
right?
But she's not even old enough to.
Like, I'm already ready to go buy core quest. The idea of just spending time with your daughter just sounds amazing.
Let her turn 1 at least first. Yeah.
Okay, well, she's 6 months as of yesterday. She turned 6 months.
You're jumping the gun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Nick, I just want to say thank you for the call. Thank you for sharing your one game a day with the family. I can totally see how you're able to turn that switch on based on the kid.
You'll have to keep us updated on that, of course, from week to week. Let us know how that's going.
So I guess I'm doing that too. I didn't realize that.
Have you played one game a day, William?
I've been playing. So I bought at your turn. I bought the RPG calendar.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I heard that's a pretty cool thing.
So every day of the week, or every day you get it's a quest, and you're going through. So right now, I think the first month of January is a prologue, so you learn all the mechanics, and so it's got a pre-generated character. And then after that, you can make your own. But it's like you tear off the sheet for the next day, and then it tells you what you're gonna do, and then you have to make it. You have to answer the choices, and the answer that is on the previous one you just ripped off. and you have to roll dice for combat and everything. You have to you have a character sheet and stuff like that. So I played every day at work.
So William got excited. Now in his world, it's January 18th and not January 13th because he jumped ahead a little bit. So
Have a good night, Nick. Thanks for calling,
Thanks for
man.
calling
We
in,
appreciate you.
Yes, sir, Mr. Carlos. You guys, hey, William, Robert, Ron, good stuff. Have a good night.
good talking to you. See ya.
Thanks.
That was actually on the recent Dice Tower podcast. Mandy and Suzanne, I believe it was Mandy, was talking about doing that calendar.
Yeah.
How that's got her like really engrossed. Gives her something to do each day.
I bought the book to go with it, so you
Yeah.
you can use like a dry erase marker, so you can, it's got all the characters that you can select, and at the one you can make you pre-generate your own, and then has all the items that are in the quest. So otherwise, you can download the copies and print them up. But yeah, I have it sitting at my work computer on my desk there. I ate my lunch, and then I'm sitting there playing. And it was funny because one time I was rolling, the polynomial. I was rolling dice, and somebody walked up like, "What are you doing?" And he goes, I looked at him like, "I'm playing D&D. What are you doing?" And he goes, "You're weird." Nerd. But then there's a few people who know what an RPG
See, I guess it's a little different. Like William, you're in the IT world.
Yeah.
Robert and I are in the insurance world. This is very
very different.
Geek centric world. Right? These are professionals, but there's a lot of geeks I find in our world that I can find. Right, Ron, you're in the energy sector. A lot of guys who work with their hands, right? Like blue collar-ish sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, do you find a kindredship with a lot of folks about gaming there?
Not really.
Not so
Although
much.
it depends on the generation.
Yeah, I can hear that. Yeah.
So I have some coworkers that I know that are gamers, of various levels. They're mostly the folks that work in the office, like the field folks.
Right, like that's us. Like we're the office guys. We are your guy in the chair. Like that's our roles here. We're not in the streets working outside without the air conditioning. I imagine it would be tougher to find coworkers with common interests there.
No. Now, if I were into hunting,
Oh yeah,
this would be a great industry to work in.
especially in Georgia. Yep.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, Robert spends up a lot of time near Stone Mountain, right? You're over near Stone Mountain.
No, that's where my uncle is. But no, we're actually over near the border on the west side of the state, up in the mountains. But we I go up there every year for a long weekend for a hunting weekend every year. So yeah, I know Georgia and I know hunting. So yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah.
I could see that.
Okay.
Well, it's been a fun show. We hit a whopping 2 callers this week. Must be a lot going on.
Yeah,
A lot of people are sick.
Slow
I
on
know
the
that.
calling, but yeah, it's been crazy.
But I needed this, so I want to thank each and every one of you. You know what? Because of that, if you commented, let's finish this up. People commented, so let's go through the comments
Hit
here.
comments real quick. Yeah.
Yes. Mitchell says, Nick likes working with wood.
Okay, you don't have to read them all, but
We'll
okay,
leave
go
that one alone.
Hit the good ones.
I like what Mitchell just said here, though.
Mitchell talks about, or Wayne talks about, War of the Rings 2nd edition is number 10 in BGG.
Yep.
And the first edition is 139.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the first edition did have some rules that need to be clarified.
And although when a new edition comes out, the old edition always tends to wane.
No, that was the
eventually, so,
biggest thing they did was they took some convoluted rules in first edition that some people were like, well, what happens if you do this and this, that? And then the second edition came out and goes, oh, you just do this. They clear it all up.
Yeah.
His point, though, really stands out to me. At the end of the day, like I'm looking at a lot of stuff on Clash of Cultures, one of my new favorite games. But there's the Clash of Cultures Monumental, and then there's the original one, right? They need to combine that into one page, right? One set of ratings. I feel like separating out the two, you got one, like Wayne talks about. First edition War of the Ring is number 10 on the BGG.
Second edition.
Second edition.
Yeah. And first edition is 139, right? Like really skews the numbers. I think Wayne's talking about. I agree with Wayne on that one. Mitchell says name tags are red now. How fancy. I'm working on it, bro. I'm working on it.
Doing it on the fly.
Man, he is just.
Wayne Kruger brings it up again. Same with TI, right? TI4 versus TI3. They're taking up spots, both of them, I bet, within the top 100. I bet both of them within the top 100.
I can't remember. Somebody had just recently talked about that, but I don't remember. But
they're each edition is taking up a spot. They really need to make one entry for all the editions of the game, right? I guess it's gotten better over time, but it's one entry. I'm with Wayne on that one.
Some games better, some games have gotten worse. So I don't know that I agree, but yeah, go ahead.
I'm actually going to have to side with Robert on this one.
Well, Mitch sides with me because he says, Wayne, I fully agree. So I'm going to put that comment up on the board.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Hey, Mitch and I usually don't agree. Like, he and I are very different people. I guess because he's a hobbit and I'm a dwarf.
There's
We're
lots
very
of
different
reasons
people.
BGG keeps them separate, because that's been a long discussion. I'm sure there's lots of boards about that, but yeah.
Board Game Gumbo says, what's going to happen with Great Western Trail 2nd Edition? Will it eventually tie with Great Western Trails 1st Edition?
As one goes
Why
up
not
and
just
one
combine
goes
them
down?
into one entry?
Yeah. If they're different games and they have different rules, I think they have to be different entries, but yeah.
But they have the same rules, it's just one is more streamlined.
Sometimes they change the rules.
Sometimes it's a completely different game.
Sometimes, yeah, the rules are different.
But I guess we got to figure out what makes it different enough where it deserves its own entry.
Would you be happy if they just deleted the...
yes.
Okay, there you go. That's what you should do.
Because I feel like there's so many game entries in there.
Some people prefer 3rd to 4th, though. Some people prefer...
Right.
Yeah, some games don't get better with a new edition.
Anybody here at this table, including Ron, you're at the table, prefer to play an older edition of a game over a newer edition?
I don't have enough experience, but I know there are definitely people out there who do. I've heard that debate before, and I've heard people bring up instances of games where Tom has several that he's mentioned on Dice Tower where the older version is better than the newer version. He didn't like the direction the newer versions went.
Okay. The only one that I can think of, and I don't think that it strictly applies, is there's a game by R&R Games called First and Goal.
Oh, I have First and Goal.
Yeah.
Okay, keep talking.
They did a re-implementation called First and Roll. I don't like First and Roll.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there are slightly different games. It's a football game and you roll dice, but the difference is First and Roll, there's no cards. With First and Goal, there are cards that you choose. You know, Carlos.
No, Robert and I know. We played this at work.
Yeah, we played it.
Like at lunch at work, we played First and Goal.
Dude, I would
I'd love to be in that.
You got to join us in the chair, bro. You got to come in the office, right? We don't go outside without air conditioning. Look at us. You think these bodies can handle dealing without air conditioning?
So sad. It's really so sad.
But anyway, yeah, that's the only example I can think of, and I don't think that strictly applies.
Okay, and that's what I'm saying. Like very few and far between.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
I think we just delete the prior edition.
So what about Brass Birmingham Brass?
I've never played
Lancashire
original Brass.
But what about that now, huh?
Yeah.
What if it's a game that's close to your heart, huh?
Have you seen the artwork on Brass? Original Brass?
It doesn't matter. It's
hot
pretty
garbage.
much-
Delete it.
Okay.
Delete it. Brass Birmingham is the only way to play.
Okay.
All right, back to the comments.
Mitchell says, hopefully Great Western Trail 2nd Edition will crash and burn and end the facade that Great Western Trail is a good game.
Well, I know he hates that game. He was like,
I've never even played Great Western Trail, and
I thought I was gonna love it because Robert mentioned it earlier when we talked about
because it has cows.
Western Legends. Robert and I both love Westerns.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to play Great Western Trail. It just didn't hit off.
We really wanted to like it. I was at the peak when everybody was talking about it.
I remember that. You guys were at Dice. We're like, we gotta play. And I said, I don't think it's gonna be good, guys.
And it was.
And you guys fought all day long to play it, and
it's still in the top 100 on BGG. I don't understand, but yeah, I think it's top 25 probably.
Yeah, Mitchell wants that facade to fall away.
yeah, I don't
It's
get
crappiness to be revealed.
I don't get it. I'm gonna look real quick, but
Board Game Gumbo says, Mitchell needs to back away from the Abita.
Okay.
All right, so
Great
what
Western
is
Trail's number
Abita? Is that
12.
like a alcohol or I'm
It's a
going to my
beer.
Louisiana guy.
Beer.
So it's a Louisiana region beer.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Mitchell says he's stone cold sober, which I actually believe. Like I tried.
Yeah.
I brought a whole cooler of alcohol, and Mitchell had partaked in none of it.
I know that was odd.
Which again makes him a hobbit.
Yeah, they don't do their alcohol.
And next thing I know, I just got to see if he's smoking the pipe, the Hobbit pipe.
But what's in that pipe? Yeah, Great Western 12, number 12 overall, all time.
No
on BGG.
way.
I don't get it.
Number
Yeah.
12?
I don't get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No.
Go on.
Come on, America. Let's do better.
That's not just America.
Board Game Gumbo, I think Mitchell's had too many Abita root beers.
Oh.
Wayne loved when you did the special brews for charities. When they did the special brews for charity. So I guess this Abita beer is probably more popular than I know because even Wayne Kruger's familiar with it.
Yeah.
Board Game Gumbo is talking. They go in this whole Abita drinking thing. I'm gonna skip all past the
just
Abita
scroll
drinking
down.
piece. Board Game Gumbo says they just got Core Quest today.
Ah, nice. All
So
right.
I guess people are starting to receive
it's
it.
hit
When
the
did you
market
get your
now.
copy, Ron?
Sunday.
Sunday.
Okay, so it is a recent thing.
Yeah,
then.
last few days. Yeah, I've been seeing all the pictures posting up.
Mitchell, wow, second time in one
Agrees
show,
with you
folks.
twice? No way.
Agreed with me twice in one show.
Which one?
He says, I'm with Carlos. I can't switch it off either.
Oh, the competitive. Yeah.
The competitive nature of gaming. He just can't switch it off. Thank you. I guess I'm not broken.
Wow, this is something else.
Good night, Board Game Gumbo. Good night, BJ. Thanks for joining us. I look forward to meeting you in person in March.
Yeah, it'd be
really
fun.
excited.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Brass this Saturday, says Raph.
Yep, we're playing Saturday. I'm teaching.
Is that right, Rod?
Yep.
Do I need to bring my copy?
Armada games, probably. Although they do have a copy normally at Armada. I know they've been rotating some of their games, so hopefully.
But do they have the
rock?
Roxley poker
Bring
chips?
your version. Bring your version.
saying,
Yeah, go ahead and
just
bring
saying.
it. Yeah, I'll be teaching Brass Birmingham on Saturday. So I only know of actually maybe 3 of us playing now, so we may have a seat open if anybody's interested. But Armada games probably little afternoon on this Saturday.
And then Wayne, last comment. Wayne says Brass and Brass Lancashire are the same game.
They are.
They are.
Brass Birmingham is a different game.
Yeah.
So that's even. So now there's still 3 games
With Brass.
with Brass on the title of it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
2 of them are the same. One's different, but yeah. And one's a pared down, basically a pared down version. Lancashire is a lighter version of Birmingham. But yeah.
I can't imagine playing a lighter version of Birmingham. I really like Birmingham.
Yeah,
Like
Birmingham's
it is
good. Yeah.
It is shot up to one of my favorite
Yeah,
games.
definitely one of my all time. That's one of the game I think I'd pretty much never turn down if I have 2 to 3 hours to play. Yep.
And you know what, folks? I want to announce right now. Let me see if I can get it up on the screen.
You're looking over your shoulder there. I see. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm in a comment trail.
Doing a few different things here. Yeah. Splitting your.
I'm like the.
Yeah. I gotta. Come
I
on, focus,
host, I engineer,
Thank you.
I live
I
here.
gotta take some of the
do
responsibility
you know what's
from
crazy?
you. I told you I was gonna take that phone from you.
You have no technology back. Like you struggle so bad.
And English is also not my first language.
It's so funny.
All right.
But I'm pulling it up here,
hit it
folks.
quick. Yeah,
Hold on, I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
10:20. Come on.
Is it? Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're running low.
Already?
Yeah.
So what? I mean,
Well,
it's
we got another game we got to play, and then I got to go home.
Oh, Robert's
So-
got it.
that's you, man.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, check out the board here. I just confirmed in the Instant Messenger chat for Thursday, January 20th, we're going to have, as a guest,
You gotta change that.
Gnarly Carly from Instagram.
You gotta change that picture.
What's wrong with my picture?
It looks like you are a serial killer.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, you see everyone. Yeah, it's like, hi, folks.
Anyway.
I'm Carlos, and I'm gonna kill you.
Anyway,
Gnarly Carly's joining
Gnarly
us
Carly's coming
January 20th. So in next week, that's next week, right, Robert?
Yep.
Next week, Gnarly Carly from Instagram is going to join us as our guest for the show. Carly has over 17,000 fans on Instagram. She's got a YouTube channel. She does drunk board game explaining. It's amazing. Like the idea of drinking and explaining the game is hilarious.
Oh, God.
But I'm super excited about next week's game.
okay.
Gnarly
Yes.
Gnarly Carly's going to join us. Please join us next week for our show with Gnarly Carly here on the Beans and Dice podcast. Tonight, we want to thank Ron Frazier
Yep.
for joining us and having conversation with us about board games.
Finally getting to board games. We got off the RPG thing, and I'll keep you updated on how that goes once we finally get me into another RPG. So I'll report back to you.
We were super glad
All
to
right,
have
looking
you.
forward to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks
I want
for
to thank all our callers. William, thank you for coming out. Although I know Robert and I have been these petri dishes of
of
unhealthiness.
the funk. Yeah.
but you risked it for us to be here.
Risked it for the biscuit.
You know what? I figured it was okay because we had 6 people who gone out and now they've come back. It's bad.
Listen, brother, it's like the chicken pox when we were kids. I don't know if y'all remember.
Yeah.
When I got chicken pox, my mom put me in the tub with a bunch of other kids because, like, as a family, we wanted to spread it and get it over with. Right? I think, like, we should do that. Like, that should be it. Like, we should all get together, get this coof, and get it over with.
No, thanks. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
Well, thank you for coming either way.
Yeah.
Rob, my buddy, always here.
Yeah, it's always good times.
It has been a rough week. Folks, I will say it has been a rough week, like, for reals.
Yeah.
Like a rough week at work and life. I've been looking so forward to tonight.
Thursday night Chicago show. Yeah.
Just to step away from all the stress of life. So thank you for all of you that joined us in the chat, in the phone calls.
And our special guest again,
my buddy Ron for
Frazier.
joining me. I'm being serious. Thank you. This camaraderie, this conversation fills my cup.
That's what it's all about.
And lets me get back to work tomorrow to take care of my family.
One more day, Friday.
Just doing this helps me to get back to work tomorrow and take care of my family. So just know that y'all folks at home are really helping me get through all these difficult stressors and take care of my family, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's so touching. Yeah. No, it's not. Okay, thank you.
Anyway, so thanks for joining us on the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about
how we game. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
Oh, and I'm crying. I'm William.
And
I'm Ron Frazier.
Tell them where they can find you.
Tabletop.
Ron Talks Tabletop.
Check him out on Instagram and YouTube. Man. Thank you, Ron. Stay on so we can say goodbye to you after the show. Folks, we're going to the Discord. We're going to go play some Pan Am. We're going to make Rob stay up later than he wants to. I don't care. I got leftover Dominoes. I've got some Hornitos Margarita. And we are going to have some fun playing some Pan Am. So
I'm out.
Yeah. Oh, William's going home.
He does that every time. The guy can't stay up late.
All right.
Hey, homie. You do you, boo.
I work for the school system.
There's our camera. Tell everybody good night.
Good night.
Good night,
everybody.
Good night.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.